Hey, so Joe Rogan and Sonjay Gupta sit down. You all know about this. If you haven't heard it by now, then I don't know where you've been. You don't know where I've been. I've not been posting in a little while because I was debating on this whole thing with YouTube taking down videos. But this was too good for me to ignore. I had to respond to this. I have to. I had to. So I mean, the clips came out first, right? And that was exciting in itself. But something even better happened. I remembered that my wife had Spotify, and so and so I jumped on Spotify and I checked out the full length podcast, and man, it's amazing. It's amazing. Let me say this: it's worth, if you don't have it, it's worth going to get it just to watch this. I think that Joe puts up. I don't know if Joe puts up the full length thing on his YouTube channel. I think they just do clips, but you can't wait. You can't wait any longer. Like, you must go now and you must check this out. First, Sonjay Gupta, he didn't come off as a prick, right? But I do have some thoughts. He came out pretty cool, man. He came out pretty cool and pretty docile, and that's cool. I feel like he came off like someone that's walking into a den where he knows his employer and his coworkers were shitting on this dude that could literally dismantle him, right? But that being said, Joe was real gracious. Joe Rogan was real gracious in the way that he handled and conversed with Sonjay Gupta. So that was pretty cool. Now, all that shit out of the way. You just got to say that part. That part is said. Get it out of the way. Let's get to the real shit. It's amazing to me that, and I'm not even going to get caught up in the dewormer shit that CNN campaign CNN did against Joe Rogan. That in itself gets handled masterfully by Joe Rogan. That's cool. So I don't got to go in detail about that. But there are a few things that I don't know that anyone else is going to delve into, and I want to touch on them very quickly here, and then possibly go back. I got to go back and listen to it again and make some notes. Right? I really would like to do it. Set up like if I can play the clips as I'm discussing it, because it's just that good. It's worth it. But back to the original thing. So there are a few things that I feel like that come up that just really reveal a lot. Really reveal. First and foremost, Joe Rogan is a comedian. He is a mixed martial artist. He's a celebrity. He's all the titles that go with it. What Joe Rogan is not is a doctor. He's not a scientist. He's not an epidemiologist. He's not a virologist. None of that shit, right? Sonjay Gupta is a surgeon. He's a doctor. He is the medical representative at for CNN's broadcast and news and all of this crap, right? Or correspondent or whatever. A medical correspondent, but in profession, he's a surgeon. He's an author now. He's got medical cred, right? I'm saying all that to set this up. They have this conversation, and Joe Rogan is just washing Sonjay Gupta with all kinds of information that he either is pretending to not know or straight up and down has no idea of. From ivermectin usage, to treatment on COVID and the coronavirus and shit, to stats about vaccine adverse reactions, all kinds of stuff. Sonjay Gupta is totally unprepared for this conversation, totally. And it's amazing to me because what you get is CNN and the rest of those assholes, but CNN for this particular conversation will be the ones we target, right? Constantly talking about anti-vaxxers, anti-science, science deniers, right? People who don't have facts, misinformed people, misinformation. They're constantly making this argument about people who don't want to get vaccinated, people who are trying or who have concerns about the vaccination. They're constantly making this argument that these people are the things that I just listed. And that so that would imply that they themselves and their representatives and the people that come on have all the data, have all the facts, and what they are pushing to you is based on facts and data and information. Well, This is not the case, clearly. I mean, we know it's not the case. I mean, let's be real. Let's not play the little objective game. Let's not play the, the even Steven game. Let's keep it 100. We know they're full of shit. We all know that, right? Because you see them get caught in lies all the time. They're shutting down conversation. When you're shutting down, if you have to shut down a conversation, that means you were not prepared for that conversation and you are scared of the outcome of having that conversation. And this is put on full display in this interview. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like if you're a Transformer fan, right? This is a nerd show. If you're a Transformer fan and Michael Bay, did all the Transformer movies and it was cool, but you're like, man, I know this should be better than this. Like, Prime shouldn't look like a bug. You know what I'm saying? Megatron shouldn't look like a bug. And then suddenly there's an announcement. There's a new retool or reboot of Transformers. And then the director shows on Twitter how the Transformers are going to look, and they all look like they're supposed to look. And suddenly you're like, yeah, you're pleased. You know what I'm saying? You feel fulfilled, and don't let that fucking movie be good. Then you really feel fulfilled, right? It's like, no, you know what? That's not good enough. It's like the Snyder Cut. Yeah, this is a better analogy. So it's like, for all of those years after seeing the first Dawn of Justice, the Justice League movie come out, and it was cool, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be. And those few, not the mainstream, casual comic book fans, DC fans who go to the movies and see it, like my wife or somebody, right? But like hardcore fans that got like all this comic book crap and toy crap in the background and all of that shit, who know what's going on. You know that the original Justice League movie was not what it was supposed to be, because you know what else is out there. You have information that people are discounting, aren't taking seriously, don't care about, shutting down. You know that Snyder is working on a Snyder Cut, and you want to see it air because you know that is the truth. And these other motherfuckers will tell you it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Be happy with this. Take this, right? And then it gets announced that it's coming on HBO Max, and then it comes out and it's glorious. It's glorious. It's everything you knew it was. That's what this was. It's like confirmation of all of the things that you feel, the conversation that we have, right? Not as anti-vaxxers, because we're not even anti-vaxxers, right? The conversations that we have as people, as those who know that the conversation shouldn't be shut down. Those who know that if you really cared about health, if you really cared about solving this problem, you would allow these conversations to be had. You would give stage to conversations like this. It shouldn't have to be on Joe Rogan. You wouldn't be shutting down Peter McCullough and stuff like you wouldn't be doing these things, right? And we know that. We know that. We know that there's other options. We know that if they really cared about your health, then what they would be doing, the Biden administration, the Trump administration, the medical officials, the mainstream narrative of us, it will be about, hey, let's delve into this thing, and we gotta stop this. Let's throw everything at the health to get you healthy, to stop you from getting it, to treat you after you get it. Let's deal with all this. Let's just take on all arguments, all conversations, all perspectives, so that we can find a true way to solve this problem, or at least manage it well. Let's build more hospitals, all kinds of stuff. These are the things that would be occurring if it was truly about your health. But we know that it's not. Right? And so we're not cynical. We just see what it is. So when you see that this happens, it's like, yes, finally, I'm validated. Because my point has been that they accuse you of being low information, no information, misinformation, blah, 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 blah. But when they're making their point, they're either using talking points or emotional arguments, or they're dancing around the actual information, tell you, oh, just trust the science, when they're not giving consideration to the science, right? Like as if the information that they find to be valuable of value to their argument is the only thing that counts. That's the only science, and it's not, right? And so my point is that put into a situation where they had to straight debate somebody. And we've seen small bits of this, like when you see Ryan Grimm debating with with Kim Iverson, and Kim Iverson's really eating his lunch, but she's being gracious about it, and Ryan Grimm's getting frustrated, and you experience this 1,000 times over again. My argument is that these people would not be able to stand up to the other side of the debate. They would not be able to stand up to the other side of the table. We're presented on a fair, level playing field, right? Where all voices can speak evenly, and no one can just say, "Oh, you're anti-science, you're anti-vaxxer, cancel him." They wouldn't be able to stand up, right? You see what they did to Nicki Minaj, or they tried to do Nicki Minaj. You see what they trying to do to Kyrie Irving, what they thought they was going to do to Joe Rogan, and he's just destroying them, dismantling them. It's perfect. It's perfect. That's my point, because Sonjay Gupta is in this interview constantly on the ropes, constantly. It's not Joe Rogan like making points about like. There are. They both make, incidental comments about people they know, right? But they're both referencing statistics, studies, facts that they have. The only difference is that Joe's got way more, and he's delivering them way better. And they're catching Sonjay Gupta at every turn. He's caught Sonjay Gupta off balance. Why? Because one, they're not having that conversation over at CNN and MSNBC. No, they're telling you, if you don't believe what we believe, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're misinformed, you're selfish, blah, 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 right? They're not prepared. I heard Sonjay Gupta say things like, "Oh, where'd you get that study from?" Joe Rogan was stating studies that I myself know of. Many of you know, right? On ivermectin, on studies on natural immunity. And Sonjay Gupta's like, "Oh, where did that come from?" Every single time Joe Rogan came out the gate with something, Sonjay Gupta was totally unprepared for it. Or being the scientist, being the surgeon, being the medical professional, being the doctor, right? He has no information on it. He's never heard it. He doesn't understand it. There was they get into the conversation about myocarditis, right? Because Joe Rogan brings up the problems that he sees and has with pushing vaccination on our kids. And first of all, Sonjay Gupta has no answer for that. So then Joe Rogan brings up a study. And to be fair, he posts the study so Sonjay Gupta can see it too, and they discuss it. Sonjay Gupta is not aware of it. The study mentions that young boys from 12 to 15 years old have a higher risk of catching myocarditis from destroying that word. Young boys from 12 to 15 have a higher propensity to catch it from taking the vaccination than catching it from COVID. And Sonjay was like, "Oh, right." And so this is before they post it up so you can see it and read it, right? And so then Sonjay Gupta was like, "Oh, well, no, I don't think that's what that means. I think," because he tries to. This is early on in the thing. He tries to pull the, "Oh, I'm a doctor, I know more," but not in an asshole way. To be fair to him, but I don't think you're interpreting the information correctly. So Joe Rogan just keeps on reading it. He just said, "No, it's saying this. It's saying this. It's saying this. It's saying this." And then when Sonjay Gupta's still like on the ropes trying to like find a way to weasel out of it, they post it, and then they both read it, and then Joe Rogan says, "See, it says it right there. Right there. It says it. The study says it." And Sonjay Gupta has no answer for that. No answer for that. You can go on, and this repeats itself throughout the thing. Now, again, Joe Rogan is being real cool about everything, except until he gets to the part about why was CNN popping that bullshit about me. He's still playful with him, but he ramrodded him on that, and he got Sonjay Gupta to basically all now come out and say that they shouldn't say that, blah blah blah, right? But I think that Sonjay Gupta was lying when it comes to that. I feel like he knew that they said, "Come on, everybody, you work at CNN, bro. You don't know what they said. You didn't hear it. Get the fuck out of here," right? Nobody believes that. But it's just amazing. It's just amazing. Like so then you reach this point, right? Because Rogan has been just busting Sonjay Gupta's ass this whole time, right? I'm not gonna. Again, I'll go deeper into it in a different video, but I really think you should go and watch it. You reach another point. Oh my God, my dog has the horriblest gas in the world. So, oh my God, oh God, I need a Pro Max. They get into Joe Rogan starts going. I'm sorry, I'm choking here. God, my dog, my Doberman's got the worst gas. They get into a conversation about Joe Rogan's friends who have gone and gotten the vaccination and then had horrible side effects. They get into the conversation, and so we reach a point where Sonjay Gupta is trying to convince Joe Rogan to get the vaccination on top of having natural immunity because he's got the antibodies, right? And this is another. Keep it, stay together, stay together. And so then Joe Rogan is joking around. And he's saying, "Well, you should go and you got the vaccine. You should go and catch COVID again. So then you have even stronger immunity because they go in the course of the interview. They talk about the natural immunity from having caught the actual virus, right? And that those people have strong immunity. Now, I myself got into this debate with many people, right? Many people, just recently, right? Got into a debate with someone who said, well, yeah, but the answer was, the response was, oh, well, there's studies that we don't know, and we don't have all the information, and we don't know how long it lasts. That's bullshit. We don't know if natural immunity is stronger or better. There's no information. That's bullshit. This is bullshit. All of this is bullshit. And this is the game they play. Fauci did the same thing when they talked about it. When he was asked about it by Sonjay Gupta. Oh my God, this dog stinks. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to end this video. So Sonjay Gupta, if you remember, asked Dr. Fauci what about the natural immunity and if that was, better or whatever the case is. And Fauci, remember, he's like, oh, I don't know. Now, wait a minute. How is it that Joe Rogan, podcaster, comedian, martial artist, and the rest of us know? And how is it that all these studies are about, and you have doctors on the other side of the table who know, but these motherfuckers who are talking about misinformation, who want to be the ministry of truth, don't know. They don't have the answer, but they want to shut you down from getting the answer, from having the answers available to you, the conversation to find the answers available to you. They want to shut all that down, but then you tell me that you don't know? And then the answer that they always fall back on is this is new. Right, but every time, and we got to change, we got to grow with the science, we got to change with the science, but the changes and the growth with the science, as the science changes, you claim is changing, it's not really changes. When you got people like Brett Weinstein, people like Dr. McCullough and more, Dr. Malone and more, right? Who've come far more, who've been saying these things since the beginning, right? But you're canceling them, right? You can't tell me that you didn't know or this information is not available or we don't know the information is not out there because it's there. It's clearly there. You're canceling it. You're ignoring it because why? So they get into a conversation about natural immunity, yes, right? Here's something I did not know about. They get into conversations about, so to be in the studio, Joe Rogan and his people, they're constantly getting tested. He said he's been getting tested like a mug. Now, you know about the test to see if you got it, and you know about the test to see if you have antibodies, which they constantly take this test. Did you know that there was a test to see if you were contagious? I've never heard that. I never knew that. They don't talk about that. Like, they don't talk about that at all. And so Joe Rogan's bringing this up, and surprise, surprise, Sonjay Gupta knew about the test, but has said nothing about the test. Now, he says that he's asked Fauci and the White House and all those people, why don't we do more testing? And their answer is some bullshit, and they don't know. Why is it that all these things that are important that are other than vaccine is a I don't know? What is that? Would it not be helpful to have the public tested for antibodies at the regular? Would it not be helpful to have the public tested for contingency, for their propensity to be contagious? Would that not be helpful? Is there a reason why we're not doing that on the regular? Joe Rogan's doing it like every single day. Now, it's a matter of cost, I would assume, but hey, we're seeming to be spending a lot of money on these fucking vaccines. Or is it that there's more money in the vaccines and less money in the tests? I just wonder because that's what it comes down to me. So I'm just gonna leave it there, man. Well, let me say one more thing. In the end, Joe Rogan, who is not a doctor, comes off as far more informed and far more informative than Sonjay Gupta, who is a doctor. And it's not no, make no mistake. I'm not saying Sonjay Gupta is not informed. That would be ridiculous to say that. I'm not saying Sonjay Gupta is stupid. That would be ridiculous to say he's a doctor. He's a surgeon. Like, I'm sure they were having a conversation about, some form of surgery, blah 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 blah, something like that. He would have all that information. But the idea is that you work for a company, a media platform that is stressing that we are all uninformed because we are anti-vaxxers and blah 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 blah. But you guys are the ones that have no information on anything outside of the vaccine. And really, you don't even have information on the vaccine, because when he's asking constant questions about, the boosters and when we should do the boosters, he doesn't have that information. So suddenly we don't know. It's not true. There's plenty of information that shows from other countries. Israel is one everybody brings up of where they reached a point where they had to start doing boosters, where they reached a point where they saw the vaccine was wearing off. And other people have brought out information as well. There's plenty of information out there. They just will not allow you to have the conversation, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to say to you, go watch it. You got to watch it. You got to see it. And no matter where you fall, if you watch this and it doesn't give you pause, if it doesn't make you think like for a second, like, wait a minute, you don't know? You don't know? Every other answer is either you don't know or you hustling backwards, Sonjay Gupta, or you trying to ass hustle some other answer. He even got to the point it was so sad when Joe Rogan was just washing him, right? But yeah. But let's just leave that out. Just leave that out. Now, if you leave all that out, wouldn't it be better if you got vaccinated? Wait a minute. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and Joe Rogan does not miss a beat, man. Like, Sonjay Gupta bring up some stuff. Whoa, 90% or whatever. And then Joe Rogan come out and be like, well, yeah, wait a minute, hold on. But how many of those people were in horrible physical condition? How many of those people had comorbidities and all this kind of stuff, right? So you can't weigh that against this when we're talking about a group of people who are in good condition, good health, or younger, who are not at risk. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to misquote. I don't want to be unfair to Sonjay Gupta, because at least he came on. But a part of me does feel like he came on with the secret mission, like, okay, if you can, Sonjay, look. All right, look. Now, he didn't embarrass us, so you got to save it. You just go in there, just get him to admit that he's willing to take the vaccine. If you can get him to take the vaccine or agree to it, we got him, right? No, doesn't happen. And then they start drinking, and that's when it really gets good. So I'm gonna leave it here. Go check it out. Please go check it out, man. Like, you really don't be satisfied with just watching the clips. Go and watch the actual podcast. It's well worth it, because there are so many things that I know are not going to, one, get addressed by CNN, and two, going to get brought up by the everybody else covering this and pulling the clips. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to cue in on the ivermectin conversation, I'm pretty sure. But there's a lot there. So this has already been 23 minutes more than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a 10-minute thing. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, have a conversation with somebody that you disagree with, have a conversation with somebody you do agree with, watch some shit you don't like, watch some shit you do like, and all of that good stuff. Deuces!